Nothing says fall like a warm, ooey gooey cinnamon bun fresh out of the oven, in my opinion, anyways. After all these years on TikTok, I realized I've never shared my cinnamon bun recipe with you guys, so here it is. As always, the recipe will be in the description. This is hot water, sugar, and yeast, and I just put it together to make sure that my yeast is working. Here we have our flour, our sugar, a little bit of cinnamon, and some salt. I mix that together, and then I add in my water mixture and my oil. You're going to want to give this a good mix, and I mix it until it's just about come together, and then I let it sit for 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, this is what it looks like, and I find it really easy to mix it all together if you let it sit for that 10 minutes. Now, you can most definitely knead this by hand, but I always use my stand mixer. This is a big batch, so I take it in half, I mix it for 3 minutes, I take it the other half and mix it for 3 minutes. You're going to want to put some oil in your bowl where we're going to rise our dough, and you want to make sure that it's well oiled so it doesn't stick. I put the two together and cover it with some plastic wrap, and then I also cover it with a cloth and let it sit and rise for an hour. Here it is after it's done its first rise, and now we're going to do the fun part. Once again, this is a big batch, so I separate it into two and do half and half. So you can make this in a half batch if you guys don't want so many cinnamon rolls out of it. I take it and I roll it out on, this is just a pastry mat that I'm using here, and I roll it out to the size of the pastry mat, nice and thin with, I'm using a French rolling pin here, and I do recommend getting one for this because it makes it a lot easier. Now I've melted some butter. I'm going to take half of a cup of butter, spread it out on here, all nice and even. I like to do it with melted butter. I find it gives me a better product in the end. And then I'm going to take my brown sugar and cinnamon mixture and mix it all over the top. I realized I needed some more here while I was making this, so I had to mix some more up. You want to spread it all out nice and even. Then we're going to start rolling it. I always roll it towards me, not away from me. It just makes life a lot easier. And then I pinch down my edge there. I'm using dental floss to cut this. I don't ever use anything else. The dental floss works the best, and it makes these beautiful, perfect little cinnamon rolls. Now I'm putting these in aluminum foil pans because I'm selling these in my farm stand. But you can obviously just use any probably 9 by 12 inch deep dish pan, or you can even do these on a cookie sheet. It's your preference, however you want to bake them up. I always give them a little pat down, a little squish down to make sure that they fill the pan nicely. So we're going to cover these guys up. I'm using plastic lids, but you can just use some plastic wrap and a tea towel and let them rise for another 45 minutes or so until they have about doubled in size. And then we're going to bake them in a 350-degree oven for 20 minutes, 25 minutes or so till they're nice and golden brown on top. In the meantime, I'm mixing up a nice little simple drizzle of whipping cream, butter, and icing sugar. And this is how you want it to be, nice and fluid. Once they're done, I cover them over with my drizzle, and that's it. Now you have some beautiful homemade cinnamon buns. I hope you give this recipe a try.